How to replace the heatsink compound on a graphics card that's overheating. First of all, you need a cotton bud and some isoprothanol. Right, first thing we need to do is dismantle the card. So if you notice, I do one side first, then the opposite side, then the opposite side, and the opposite side, and I do this because it slowly releases tension on the GPU heatsink, rather than just unscrewing everything in one hit sort of thing, so it helps not cause damage. Okay, so next thing is, there's on this particular GPU there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so there were 11 screws to remove from the bike. Then we need to remove one screw here. Okay, now on this particular GPU there's also screws around the edge of the casing, so I've got 1, 2, 3. It's always a good idea as well to keep your screws organised, because not all GPUs use one size screw. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, and the 1, 2, 3 screws on the bracket. So 1, 2, 3. Now it should just come apart. Sometimes it may be a bit tough, but just be gentle and it should just come apart. There you go. Okay, so this is the heatsink. First of all, make sure there's no dust in there. If there is, clean it out. Then what we need to do is we need to take some isopropanol and we need to clean both the heatsink and the CPU die off. So you can notice it. I don't know whether it comes out on camera, but it's worn away over the years. As you can see, it's dissolving slowly. So I've just got some toilet roll to sort of finish cleaning up this heatsink. Try and get as much off the heatsink and die as you possibly can. Sometimes, like in this case, the dye's kind of stained, you know, very sort of difficult to get that off. But the part of the heatsink that needs to make contact with a CPU die is clean enough. Okay, so now let's clean the CPU die. You can see it's pretty crusty, this heatsink compound. be very careful when you with this die, because there's little SMD components all the way around it. You can, if you're too rough, you can end up knocking them off the chip, and then, well, the graphics card's no good anymore. It's not essential that you remove all this round the edge, it's just the top of the die that's most important. Just keep polishing it until no more residue comes off onto a cloth. I use toilet roll or kitchen roll, you know, but again, be gentle, don't press on hard. Right, okay. Right, okay, that's done. Now, I'm using a Master Gel Pro V2 Cooler Master. It's about £5 or so, and it's a pretty effective heat sink compound. Although it's quite difficult to get out in its packet. Right, okay. Right, let's apply some. You don't have to, about a pea size. Okay, it's not a massive die, so you don't need that much. If it was, say, like a bigger GPU or a processor chip, you'd want to probably put a bit more on, but this is fine. Now, while that's just sitting there for a while, let's clean these fins out. Okay, there is some residue in there. These are fans over the lifetime sucking quite a bit of dust. I mean, that's the whole point of them. As you can see, I'm using a toothbrush, but you can basically use anything that can get in between the fins without breaking them. Sometimes you have to use a pair of tweezers to get really sort of stubborn dirt out. You can use air duster for this as well. It's just I haven't got a can of air duster handy. Not perfect, but good enough. Right, okay. Now, this GPU hasn't got a back plate, so which makes life a little easier actually, because what we can do is place the heatsink back on. Just line it up. Okay, and then we can screw it down, which will make life considerably easier. Okay, so just like when we took it off, we want to go from one to the other. So screw it enough so it bites on the first one, and these are spring loaded as well, so it's a good idea to keep them held down until you've got it screwed in. Right, okay, then same on the opposite corners. Right, okay, and then just go around in a pattern like that. Now what will happen is as I'm screwing it down, the heatsink paste will be squished between the two layers, so it'll flatten out and cover all of the die. Right, okay. Now you don't need to tighten these like you would be tightening a tank bolt, just enough so they basically don't turn anymore. Right, and that's it. Right, so now we can start to reassemble the card. So what I will do, first of all, I'll put these in. So one, again, you don't have to tighten stuff like you tighten a tank bolt. Just you know, enough so it catches. Okay. Two. I did that off camera because that screw can be quite tricky to get in. Okay, then 3. You notice that you've got to make sure those holes line up with the holes beneath it, otherwise your screw will be going sort of cross-threaded. So what I do, I hold it in place until I've got this first screw in. Okay. Then that should make it much easier for the rest of the screws. Okay, and the last one on the top. And there you go. Right, so now heat sinks on, brackets on, sort of. All we need to do now is reattach the plate, the cover plate. Okay, so first of all, there's these 6 screws as before. One, 2, 3, and a 3 on the top. And then the 11 from the bottom. I think it was 11. Okay. So 1, 2. Again, be careful with these. Don't over tighten them, because you'll probably strip the heads on the screws, or worst case you might even crack the PCB. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And there you go. That's it.